Students and alumni rallying today, all in an effort to keep the George Brown College School of Jewelry and Gemmology program alive. This is the largest program of its kind in North America. Works very closely with local jewelers in the city's Diamond District and other post-secondary program that is in jeopardy in this province. So we want to talk about this morning and bring in one of the organizers trying to save the program, bring in Andre Franklin. Good morning, Andre. Really nice to have you on our program. Let's start by talking about what's going on with the program. What have you been told?
Yeah, so basically, there's been a huge lack of transparency from the college administration. Students have been kind of left to figure a lot of things out on their own. But essentially, this is part of a larger college-wide closure of many programs. And by closures, they say it's a pause to new student intakes. And they still haven't come out publicly with a list of all of those programs, but 3 out of the 4 jewelry and gemology programs are included within that. And one of the reasons that we know that is because people who, I know who are, who were accepted into the program have gotten rejection letters saying that the program is no longer being offered. And after, a lot of pushing, we finally have got the, college to kind of admit that the jewelry schools are part of those closures.
Mm-hmm. So they say they're pausing intake, as in they're not bringing in any more students, but your classes continue. Is that correct?
Yeah. So anyone who is currently registered in the program, it has the ability to complete the program, but they're not continuing any new student intake. And what their justification for this is saying that they're going to be putting together PAC committees and, with faculty insight to kind of restructure and redesign the program to current employer needs. Now, in our program, we already have a professional advisory committee who weren't informed of this decision before it happened. And we also have, and our faculty members also were devastated at the news. I would have to, imagine, honestly, they're being told they can't even really talk about it. Mm-hmm. A lot of the reason that, we're able to talk about it is that, for myself, I have a part-time support staff position as a student employee in the program. And so I've been able to figure out certain information that I'm then, helping, other students fill in the blanks.
Mm-hmm. What more can you tell us about the actual program? It sounds as though it's very specific, very niche, and there aren't a lot of other opportunities out there for people who are interested.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And especially on a college level, you would think that George Brown would be eager to protect a program like this, where there really are no other options on a college level to learn the skills of jewelry making and goldsmithing and also gemology on this kind of scale. Our facilities are massive. We're at the Casa Loma campus. We take up like most of the 5th floor. There's no other program like it. And an advanced diploma or a certificate in, jewelry making at, George Brown gets you an interview. It gets you in the door pretty much anywhere in the jewelry industry. Here, there's a connecting line between George Brown. A massive part of our professional industry is made up of George Brown alumni. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Even the training to become a gemologist. I as I understand it, someone with that background, that's where you would go if you needed something appraised, right? Someone to give you the specific details of, say, your jewelry or whatever it is you have. Are there a lot of people in
Sure.
that role, that industry?
So it's a small industry, but it's a growing one, it's one where a lot of opportunities are opening up, moving forward in the future. I can speak to the jewelry side more than the gemology side, but I know that for the gemology program, the certifications that you get through, going through the program kind of can enable you to work in so many places. And you really can't get those certifications anywhere else.
Tell us about the plan for today, Andre, what your message will be to the president of the college and how you're trying to get more support for this.
Yeah, so we're going to be showing up at the president's office at the waterfront campus today, and basically delivering letters that students have written in support of the program, which we don't feel like have been, adequately considered or read, and showing that this is a program that matters to people, that our education matters, that what educations are offered to future students shouldn't be solely determined on what is profitable and not, right? It's on the college has a responsibility to manage deficits, to manage these things. They've said that there have been issues with enrollment numbers, and for jewelry that's just simply not true. Before they announced the suspension of the program, we had exceeded maximum registration for the for the coming fall. Whatever cuts there were to international students have actually been replaced with domestic registration, or were replaced with domestic registration. And so, we want to say that this is a program that deserves support, that needs support, that there are people ready to go into this program, and that they have no reason to just cut it off. And if they need to figure out how to do some kind of restructuring to manage a deficit, then they don't need to pause new student intake to do that.
Yeah.
That we have a professional advisory committee. There's faculty who can, who can be involved in this decision-making process, and that students' educations don't need to be severely disrupted, and our industry doesn't need to be disrupted in order to come to these, conclusions.
Yeah, especially those really interested in enrolling in the program in the future. Okay, Andre Franklin, I'm afraid that's all the time we have, but we'll stay in touch and we'll see what's next here and whether you are able to open some dialogue there with the college's president. Thanks for your time today.